Hey guys, this week we're going to be reviewing rates, ratios, and unit rates. So, like you guys didn't get enough of that in the beginning of the year, right? So, it's a super duper duper big, important thing to learn in 6th grade. Y'all have heard me say that a gazillion times. So we're going to continue reviewing it for this week and next week to make sure that you guys are extra prepared for 7th grade. So some things that you're going to need: paper, pens, pencils, calculator. Yes, I'm letting you use a calculator. Okay, so if you got your paper and your pencil and your calculator, we are ready to rock and roll. The first thing I want to review with you guys is the definition of a rate. So we talked about the definition of a ratio. I had you guys repeat it all the time, and the definition of a ratio is comparing two or more amounts. Notice that a rate is comparing two amounts. So you're only going to be comparing two things whenever we discuss a rate. Here are some examples of rates. 60 miles in 3 hours. This is comparing miles and hours. 15 6/10 ounces of Skittles for $3.65. This is comparing ounces and money amounts. This is a rate. Miss D had 15 strikeouts in 5 games. Okay, so this is comparing things into the sports world. Remy ate 28 snacks in 1 week. This is comparing snacks to time. Eva ran 14 laps in 2 minutes. This rate is comparing laps to minutes. Our second definition that we're going to go over is a unit rate. And we've talked about what a unit is. A unit stands for 1. So anytime we take a rate and we turn it into a unit rate, we are putting it down to a quantity of 1. A rate that is expressed as a quantity of 1. So we're going to take all of our rate examples and we're going to now find the unit rate of them. Okay, so we're going to start with Eva ran 14 laps in 2 minutes. We are always going to write these in fraction form and make sure that you add your labels so that you know exactly what you're talking about when you go to work it out. So we have 14 laps in 2 minutes. Okay, and we need to find the unit rate of 1 minute. This is where our math comes in. We have to figure out what am I going to have to do to 2 minutes to get it down to 1 minute. So what do we have to do, guys? I hope you said division because that is the correct move. So from 2 to 1, we are dividing in half. Okay, so dividing by 2. And we're going to do the exact same thing at the top. You guys remember doing this in class? I hope so. So 2 minutes divided by 2 gives us 1 minute. 14 laps divided by 2 is going to give us 7 laps. So our unit rate for this problem is that Eva ran 7 laps per minute. And remember that per means 1. Our second example, Remy ate 28 snacks in 1 week. So we are going to change this to per day. That's what unit rate I'm going to find. So instead of putting 1 week, I'm going to write 7 days. And I'm going to set it up just like my other problem in fraction form. 28 snacks over 7 days. Solve for the unit rate, get down to 1 day. So how do I get from 7 to 1? I hope you said divide by 7. So 28 divided by 7 is 4. 4 snacks. So my unit rate sentence is Remy ate 4 snacks per day. Example 3. Miss D had 15 strikeouts in 5 games, which is pretty realistic. So I'm going to write my rate in fraction form. 15 strikeouts 5 games. We want to find the unit rate of 1 game because unit means 1. So how bad did Miss Denton do per game? Divide by 5. "15 strikeouts divided by 5 gets me 3 strikeouts. Miss D had 3 strikeouts per game. Per means each game or 1 game. My next example, notice this one has a decimal in it. We're stepping up the game a little bit. 15 6/10 ounces of Skittles for $3.65. Even though it has a decimal, we are still going to follow the exact same procedure. Write it as a fraction. And I'm actually going to do it the other way around. I want to find out, no, we're going to keep it. So I want to figure out how much $1 costs. What do I get with $1? I'm going to divide. That's where I'm going to bring out my calculator. So I have 1560 divided by 365. So that shows me I get 4 27/100 of an ounce per dollar. Now I could figure out how much it is for 1 ounce. That I could also do that and flip this around and solve. So this one could be solved 2 different ways depending on what your goal is at the end. I wrote this sentence a little bit different, but it still talks about each or per. So each dollar will purchase 4 27/100 of an ounce of Skittles. My last example, 60 miles in 3 hours is my rate. I'm going to write it again as a fraction. This one is probably the most used rate into unit rate that we use in everyday life. 3 hours, we want to know how far we can go in 1 hour. What's our miles per hour? We're going to divide by 3. And 60 divided by 3 is what, guys? That's right, 20 miles. I am traveling 20 miles per hour. So you might be wondering to yourself, well, why do I need to know this, Miss Denton? What's the purpose of rates and unit rates? Rates and unit rates help us compare things. We figure out which car has the best gas mileage. That's a unit rate, miles per gallon. We figure out what has the best deal on Under Armour sweatshirts, or who has the best deal on Takis at the gas stations. So we are going to compare 2 types of toilet paper packs. We have Scott 12 rolls for $9.98 and Charmin 4 packs for $7.25. So I'm going to first do the Scott toilet paper, and we're going to figure out the price per roll. Okay, so roll goes on the bottom. So this has 12 rolls. And the price is $9.98. We had to figure out the price of 1 roll. So we're going to divide the top and the bottom by 12. When I put that into my calculator, I get a very long decimal. I'm going to round it to the hundredths place. So that makes 83 cents per roll. Now that we have that, we're going to now compare the Charmin 4-pack. So now I'm going to write down, I put my labels. The price up here is $7.25, and this is for a 4-roll pack. Find the price of 1 roll. So I need to get this down to 1. I divide by 4. Do the same thing at the top. When I divided that, I got that 1 roll cost $1.81. So now that you see how we can simplify that to one roll, finding the unit rate of toilet paper, you can definitely see which one is the best buy. So that is a perfect real life example of where you would use unit rates to help you make the best purchase and to save your money. You now have some practice problems on the next assignment to do on your very own. If you have any questions, feel free to text me on my Google number or call me. And I hope that was a good refresher for you on rates and unit rates.